turned to my left when I heard the sound and didn't see anything. When I looked back towards the president, the Secret Service was actively tackling him to the ground. And at that point, I began to hear some other sounds, and I said, okay, this is gunfire. And I think then I did duck down. I didn't dive on the ground, but I did duck down, and then it seemed like it stopped. And then I got up and was just trying to pay attention to what had happened to the president.
When he came back up before he gave that fist pump and then was taken off the stage, it looked like he possibly had some blood, as you mentioned too before, right on his ear. I mean, what did you exactly see, and how much blood did you see?
Not a lot. I mean, kind of like where maybe you cut your head. And it did not seem to be coming from his ear. It seemed to be coming from above his ear. But it could have been he could have been tackled in such a way that he cut himself. It could be Secret Service agents' blood on their hands that got transferred to him. I didn't know what it was, but it didn't appear to be overly serious when taken in combination with his defiant attitude and his fist pump. I think he wanted to let us know he was all right.
How shocked were you? I mean, you're getting ready to go to the RNC. I mean, everyone's mind was on the excitement at that rally, and then you hear these pops, and it's what a lot of people is their biggest fear when they come to a big event like this.
Well, I can't say it's one of mine. I as separated as we are politically in this country, I am not one who thinks that we're on the verge of hostilities. I didn't think that I would ever see anything like this happen. And even like my initial reaction was, it's a joke, it's a prank. And it was only when I saw the actions being taken by the Secret Service that it became apparent that it wasn't.
They were able to move in pretty quickly. You could see the snipers up on the roof. At this point, we're hearing that the possible, suspect or person was killed, and then a person also that was at the rally was killed.
I'm sorry about one. I'm not sorry about the other. Tremendous wake-up call for our country. This can't be condoned. It can't be tolerated. And we have a very open society. We have a very open political discourse. It never include violence. Never. Any groups that espouse violence, there should be no tolerance for it.
Last thing, when people were moving out before the Secret Service cleared out sound too, did you talk to anybody, and kind of what are people out here saying? Are they nervous? Are they scared?
Very many people were upset. I had the whole gamut of emotions, from being upset to prayer to concern to anger to shock. I think I saw it all.
Are you going to the RNC still?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I fully expect to see President Trump on the stage on Thursday accepting the nomination.
Okay, thank you for talking to us. I'm glad you're okay. So that's what we're hearing out here on the ground, but definitely many people are still shaken up, as you can expect, trying to figure out what happened. And we also have the mayor, Bill, if you guys want me to talk with him right now. The mayor, I know you guys were trying to get him earlier.
Yeah,
I think they were talking to you on the phone.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from him.
All right, so tell me, we were up on the stage, you were near the former president. What happened?
I was actually with the president about 15-20 minutes before that awful thing occurred. And my wife and I and my family were seated front row. I just left the stage, and obviously a complete 180. We all came in here with smiles and hope for the future. And what's happened today, I'm speechless over. All I can think of right now is that this is representative of the vitriol and the hate that a lot of people in the United States seem to have for people with conservative ideals and principles behind them. And I'm just sorry that it's come to that, and I'm sorry that it's come to that here in Butler County.
Where were you standing when the former president ended up hitting the ground there, right behind that podium?
Donald's there. I was standing right on the barrier to the left of the stage, front row. And at first I heard that first crack. I started to look around. I thought couldn't possibly have been around. I thought for sure it might have been a firecracker. But I looked at my wife, who's a state police officer. I pushed her down to the ground. And the second one, it sounded to me like it might have been a 22 round or something similar to it. I asked her if she thought it sounded like a 22. She said yes. We just yelled for everybody to get down on the ground and to stay down to allow the Secret Service and law enforcement to do what it is they had to do. We weren't really quite sure what was happening. And unfortunately, just a few feet behind me, there was an unfortunate individual who lost his life to this maniac.
Did you see the person who was shot?
I did see some of that. Of course, I didn't see the shot itself. But I did.
So you turn around, so you push your wife down, you look around for your family, you take cover yourself, you see the president get back up, give that fist pump, you turn around and you see somebody in the crowd had been shot.
They were shot. They were on the bleachers, and it was just a really sad thing to witness. And unfortunately, I understand that individual lost their life.
Was it a man? Was it a woman? What did you see?
From what I saw, was that there was a gentleman there who again was shot, and very sad just to witness that. I can't think or imagine what his friends and family must be feeling right now, thinking he was coming here to come and enjoy a day with fellow Republicans, and then end up losing his life. And my thoughts and my prayers go out to his family.
You know all the local officials. I mean, this was federal, state, local. We're all out here responding to this, and they responded quick. Have you heard from any of your partners in the law enforcement area here in Butler County, and what are they saying?
I've heard from a couple individuals, but I just want to say, unfortunately this time I don't want to comment on anything I might have heard, because I don't want anything to be shared that might make it more difficult for law enforcement professionals to get to the bottom of it, and I certainly don't want to make their job any harder. So, at this time I'm going to say that I know everything that you know, man, and we'll keep it at that.
But you are hearing that it was definitely gunshots that were fired.
That's what I'm hearing, and from my own experience, and I did spend some time in the Marine Corps. My wife's a police officer, my father-in-law's a retired police officer, my brother-in-law's a police officer. We know the sound of gunfire when we see it, and from what I witnessed and the blood on the ground, it seems that certainly is the case, and it's just a disgusting thing to have had to happen today.
This was a huge day for you. As the mayor of a tiny area here, to have a big rally in Butler County. You were excited to have the former president out here. Did you get to talk to him much?
I did. I got to spend a few minutes with him, and I was elated just to have been able to talk with him. My wife and I, again, just 15-20 minutes before the shots were fired, and we had a pleasant conversation, and he was kind enough to even say that I watched you and you did a good job, and I thought, wow, how great that was, that feeling. And then of course the feeling now is indescribable, as I'm feeling something completely opposite from what it was that we felt in that tent with him, and the smile that was on his face turned to chaos and despair. It certainly did.
And then stay with us just for a second. Bill, Shannon, I don't know if you have any specific questions you want us to ask the mayor, since you guys were trying to call him too.
Yeah, the only thing, Alexis, that we're trying to clarify, if you can, did he see that on stage or in another area of that rally?
Did you see the shooting happen? When you saw the shooting happen, and you saw the person who was shot? Well, how close were they to the stage? And do you think that the shots were fired inside of the rally or outside of the rally?
I was trying to figure that out myself, man. What I can tell you is that I was seated in the front row, stage left, so to the right of the president, as near to the stage as you could be. The individual who was shot was in the bleachers about 15-20 feet behind me. Again, I was scanning the crowd and trying to figure out if shots were coming from within or without. I'm inclined to believe that it was from outside, but I don't want you to hold me to that, of course, because there's just so much going on right there.
Still developing. That area where the motorcade pulled up behind, and you were in that area when you were greeting the former president, but it looked like there was some space, right? It's like a neighborhood surrounding this. So we saw what it looked like inside the rally. We saw the stage, we saw the bleachers, we saw the thousands of people. But talk to me about kind of what's outside, since you know the area. I mean, is it a neighborhood, and could people have driven up pretty close?
There are single-family homes in this area, so yeah, absolutely. And then of course there are major arteries for traffic that come through here. It's not ridiculous to think that somebody who was a good shot could set up outside of this venue, and with the right conditions be able to reach out and touch somebody in a bad way. Whoever this individual was or individuals were, I'm not really quite sure, because I haven't heard anything as far as what exactly had happened, but all I know is yes, I mean, it's certainly possible, but I just never would have thought that it would be possible here in our home. Butler County is very much so Trump country. We adore the president. He was very good to us during his tenure in office, and I never would have imagined that him coming here to Butler County would have meant that he would have had to experience this. And I'm glad that the president's safe. I heard that he's doing okay now. But again, I just want to go back to that individual who lost their life today. That individual came here looking for hope and inspiration in this upcoming cycle, and unfortunately is going to be with us. So I just hope the world sees what happened here today and is inspired to action. And when I say into action, I mean to prayer, to vote, of course, to bring God back into our society here, because this is the act of a godless society that we saw today.
Thank you for talking to us, Mayor. I'm glad that you're okay. Glad your family's okay. Unfortunately, as you just heard, one person who was at that rally confirmed dead. According to local officials, we're still